Hey, what's up, listener? Thanks for pressing play. On this episode of the Jock and Nerd podcast, Disney has talked to Fox about buying their company. Is this the first step on the road to get the X-Men and Fantastic Four into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And writer Brian Micheal Bendis is leaving Marvel for DC. They're breaking up. Plus, we attempt to cut through all the hype and hyperbole to give you our honest thoughts as we review the latest entry into the MCU, Thor Ragnarok. Full spoilers ahead, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, November 8th, 2017.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Be jocking, be nerding. Be funny, disturbing. Be jocking, be nerding. Be spoiler alert. Oh yeah. Be jocking, be nerding. Be funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. Be jocking, be nerding. Be spoiler alert. Give it up one time.
Hi-yo, welcome, listener, to the Jock and Nerd podcast, your weekly geek fix, giving you comic books, superhero, and pop culture related news, reviews, and occasional interviews. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And he's the heavily medicated Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs? How you doing?
What's up, dudes? How's it going?
Whoa.
You got a little Kathleen Turner voice there, Rugs. How you feeling?
Yeah, I got a frog and a toad in my throat.
That's what happens after you watch V.I. Warshawski on repeat. Like, you end up talking like
Kathleen.
Kathleen
This is what
Turner.
happens when you smoke like 70 packs of cigarettes.
Rugs, I told you, you stop smoking. You are a walking flame retardant fire hazard.
Yeah, but sometimes the old habits come back, you know.
Listen, life can be stressful. I enjoy a good smoke myself. New listener, thanks for joining us. If you stumbled on the show, well, tough shit. Now you're here. Now you got to listen. But if you want to know what we do here, I'm going to give you a testimonial here in the form of a recent iTunes review, because it's douchey reading your own reviews on your own podcast, but this is how I spin it. It's for the new listener. Here's what you're getting into. We got the title of this review is You Asked For It. So, and the reason that's titled is a couple episodes ago, guys. Remember, I said if you have a podcast and you listen, send us a review. We'll read it. We'll plug your podcast. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. You asked for it. So 5 stars, written by Dutch Wants a 9-Ball Option. It says here, probably my favorite non-serious podcast.
Whoa.
I love how Imran is over-caffeinated and Anthony doesn't give a shit half the time. Show doesn't take itself too seriously, but production quality is good. Great perspectives and reviews on stuff I'm interested in. If I had to give one critique, it's that they ask for donations as frequently as the 700 Club or PBS. But hey, you gotta pay the bills. Rugboy, one of the co-hosts, reminds me of a dorky little shit I went to Illinois State with, so he's endearing to me. I actually gave them props on air on my own podcast, so shameless plug at VFU Podcast on Twitter. A voice from the underground. Hey, they asked for it. Keep up the good work and go Cubbies.
Talking nerd.
Thank you, voice from the underground, for the review.
Do we really ask for donations a lot?
No, once a show, I'm like, hey, check out our fan club. Did I mention you can support us on Patreon? Look, you get bonus content. I get the joke. It's funny, but it's not that frequent. Once a show in the middle, you barely notice it. But their podcast, I did listen. They have 3 episodes. They just started. It's like 3 dudes. They're very intelligent. They talk about superhero movies and hip hop and sports. And they enjoyed our Game of Thrones, our first watch, late to the party Game of Thrones reviews, because the guy said he's seen everything and it brought back what he loved about
Did
Game
you guys
of
notice
Thrones.
how you left?
No, I saw you left and you came back in.
What are you talking about now?
Thanks for coming down. Thanks for joining the show, Anthony.
I heard you laugh.
I laughed and then left.
Oh.
Because I couldn't hear anything.
It was stupid cast. Anyways, I was just
What'd
saying.
you say? What were you saying about how many times do you plug the Patreon?
Just once. Once a show. I don't think that's a lot. Check out Voice from the Underground. I'll put a link in the show
we're gonna
notes.
ask for more money later.
Yes. By the way, did I mention you can support us on Patreon? Check it out.
Yeah, this fucking show's free, dude.
It's free. It's $1 and you get bonus content. We will talk about that later.
I like his reviews of us, though.
Yeah.
Rugboy being the dorky little shit.
Yeah, this is the most like passive aggressive, like my favorite non-serious podcast. It's great.
It's a terrific passive aggressive view.
Yeah.
They liked our Game of Thrones
But we got 5 stars.
recap.
Yeah.
But we got 5 stars. I'll take the review. Also, if you're a new listener, check out our last show for our Stranger Things review. We reviewed season 2 with our buddy Matt Delhauer. Lots of fun geeking out about that show. And Anthony, you wouldn't be the jock without, and we rarely have any jock content. So
we have nothing.
I'm excited. Let's get the jock shit out of the way. You got something about something going on in real fighting, not fake superhero fighting.
Right. Well, this past UFC was UFC 217 in Madison Square Garden, the second show ever in Madison Square Garden. The first one was headlined by Conor McGregor. This one was headlined by the return of George St. Pierre. So
no way, old Batroc, Batroc the Leaper from Captain America. GSP's back. Did he retire?
That's how you would know him.
That's the only way I know him. He retired and came back?
He retired and came back after a 4-year layoff.
How old is he?
Did he win?
He's 36 or 37. Okay. He fought in the main event against Michael Bisping, who's the 185-pound champion, and George St. Pierre was the 170-pound champion when he retired.
Okay.
So he was moving up in weight, and he did win.
Wow.
He won and came back and beat the middleweight champ. It was actually 3 title fights on the show, and they were all pretty fucking amazing, and the first time ever that 3 belts have changed hands on one show.
Did he do any leaping? Did he leap?
He did a Superman punch or two.
Yes. As long as he leaps and does a fucking flying punch down to the face, I'm happy. All right, that's cool. So GSP.
I just had to bring it up because GSP is one of my favorites and one of the more popular UFC fighters of all time.
Is he back?
Some consider him the best of all time.
Is he going to fight more, or was this just like a one-time thing?
We'll see. I think he's going to fight some more, but he's going to be very careful in who he fights. But he is the champion.
I've seen a few of his matches, so yeah, he's legit.
Right on, old French white guy.
Yeah.
He can beat the shit out of you.
French-Canadian. Canadian, really. He's just from Montreal, so.
Excellent. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Very exciting. Let's move on. Sorry. No, I think it's cool. Let's put him in.
You don't even know who he is.
I just put him in the next Marvel movie. I don't know. Then I'll pay attention. That's all.
Technically, he's not dead. He could come back in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, Batroc was just like defeated, right? And
Captain America kicked his ass, and then Batroc ran away.
Yeah, give us a Captain America 4 with Batroc the Leaper. Wee wee. All right, look. We're going to review Thor Ragnarok this episode. But first, I got a couple of news stories that made me go, oh, shit. We're going to get to that right now.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Okay, the first of 2 things that I just had to get your guys' thoughts on, because it was pretty nuts. Word came out from CNBC that 21st Century Fox had been holding talks to sell most of the company to Disney.
Oh, shit.
So CNBC's great. They bullet point the important stuff in this article, so I didn't have to read it. According to people familiar with this situation, they've been holding talks. Disney would not purchase all of Fox. Fox is said to believe that a more tightly focused group of properties around news and sports could compete more effectively. And pretty much the sides are not talking now. It's completely dead, but they were talking about basically Disney buying all their movie properties, which of course we know Fox holds the rights to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So it on one hand, exciting that those properties can return to Marvel, but on the other hand, I'm kind of nonplussed because I'm really digging the way what they're doing with the X-Men property now. Like they're starting to be edgy. They're starting to take risks. And that's going to go away and you can say goodbye to your R-rated superhero movies. If you're a fan of the R-rated superhero movies and this happens, Logan and Deadpool, we ain't be getting that shit. Anthony, what do you think? Why would Fox approach Disney instead of the other way around?
Well, I mean, Fox is probably losing money. That's probably why. And they have all these different properties. I read the article as well, and they don't really have a digital platform, like a Netflix or an Amazon, and that's kind of where it's trending towards. And Disney has something that they're developing already. And then as far as their movies, I guess they're just not making enough money on these movies for it to warrant having a movie division. And they can't sell all their stuff because
it would be like a monopoly.
Yeah, it's like monopoly. There's a bunch of rules against that, but As far as why is Fox approaching them, I think they're just not making enough money, obviously.
Well, not only that, but they have a group like Disney that wants their characters back and is probably going to pay through the nose for them. So they're
Disney,
in a position.
Disney has a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're in a good position to negotiate to get their character to get the most money for those characters.
They can throw all sorts of amounts at them.
If you're going to sell, you would go to the person that kind of wants some of your shit.
You know who should buy fucking these characters is DC. That'd be the greatest. If Warner Brothers would buy this, they would just imagine they just plunk down like more money than Marvel would.
There's no reason
I don't know how that works. But I don't know if that would work or not.
Why not?
Yeah, they totally could do that. That would be the upset of the year.
There has to be some sort of, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I feel like there would be or Marvel would have wrote some sort of agreement where it's
sell
like,
it to
if you
anybody
ever
else.
sell, you can't sell it to another comic book owned company.
I would think you could sell it to whoever, and that would be just a crazy fucking
though.
fuck you if they step in and outbid them.
I don't know if that's possible.
Crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened, and we've long talked since the MCU started how great it would be to see like the X-Men versus the Avengers. However, though, with Marvel becoming so Disney, I don't know. Do we want to see Disneyfied X-Men and fucking Fantastic?
I don't know. I'd rather see Wolverine versus Batman.
Oh, that would be fucking sick. And not just like in Bat in the Sun in a fan video.
Yeah.
Show it to me on the big screen. So
there's two. I mean, there's the line of thought where, man, I would love to see fucking Hugh Jackman interact with Tony, like what's Robert Downey Jr. Like that'd be great. So like that part of me, like, yeah, you want to see all the comic book properties under the property that made them, Marvel. But then, you know, I would also argue that the Marvel movies have been better because they don't have to worry about incorporating this weird thing called the X-Men, which even in the comics has always kind of been a weird thing. Like, wait, why are mutants alienated when there's a million other superheroes that have weird powers and got them in weird ways?
To integrate it now into the universe they have, that would be a hell of a task. I don't know how you do it. It would solve their fucking shitty Inhuman problem. They can just fucking forget the Inhumans ever happened. Maybe you buy it and still keep it separate, but then people will be like, how come you want to see it together?
No way.
Yeah, so, you know, even...
You buy it to incorporate it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you think of the great crossover events in the comics that have featured X-Men Avengers and how sometimes they mutants have been on the Avengers team, and some Avengers and Fantastic Four have turned into mutants. They fought each other. They fought together. Like, such a rich history. But how you incorporate it into this current Disney MCU, I don't know. And I don't... The
first thing I thought of, and when I read the article, I was like, oh, that's why they wouldn't... These aren't for sale. Like Fox News is it's not going to be, wouldn't be sold if Disney bought it.
Right.
But I was like, man, Disney's pretty liberal.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would
Fox
they want
is really conservative. Yeah. Why would they want that?
They don't want the news. They want to get the news. They want to get the news of the sports, and they'll double down on the news. Fox News ratings got to be soaring in the fucking this day and age. You got to imagine all the fucking nuts, and they've just probably grown because they just can't figure out what they're doing. Even watching it for fun. You know, sometimes it's fun to just turn Fox on as like a comedy. It's like a modern day tragic comedy. It's hilarious. So I don't know. Let's see if these talks continue. The fact that they met is insane.
That's even came up is like you said, pretty crazy.
And I believe this is how like the Spider-Man thing started. Someone like the talks just started and fell. Like apparently they were supposed to have the Spider-Man deal way back in like 2012, and it kind of fell apart. So it doesn't mean it's dead forever. Also, I read this other interesting article that Disney they could cancel this. Something about canceling The Simpsons if they do this. They would be smart to shut The Simpsons down, even though it's still running, and kind of just make it its own thing. I thought that was interesting that everyone brought The Simpsons. What would be the fate of The Simpsons? All right.
What would be the fate of The Simpsons?
Well, I don't know. Like it's still on. Is it still good? Are people still watching? It's just
I read that they would buy some of their networks.
Yes. Yeah.
Like FX and National Geographic and slide over
and like
maybe some other stuff.
And The Simpsons pretty much helped build the network of Fox from the very beginning and make it what it is. But it's been on for 30 years.
Fox was always it was like ABC, CBS, NBC. And then Fox was like, that came out of like when the 80s, maybe?
Yeah, late 80s, Married with Children.
Tried to be the fourth main channel. And was like the stepchild.
Remember they had like Bill O'Reilly on Inside Edition and like crazy fucking shows and it was trying to be the fourth channel.
It is.
It was legit.
It is. Yeah.
It is still. I consider it the major TV
and look
network.
where they got like a Marvel show, they got a DC show. They still got a lot of great animation. So, wow.
Yeah, what is Fox's? They got I think they're with DreamWorks, maybe.
Is it? Is that?
I forget.
Man, whether it's dead or not, the fact that they're talking could mean we could see the mutants and X-Men
Geek boner
in the MCU sometime.
That's a big geek implication.
Holy
right there.
shit! I will miss the R-rated movies because they were not going to give us those. The other big holy shit news that came out this week is the fact that Brian Micheal Bendis, long writer at Marvel, writing there since 2000, created so many things and pretty much created what Marvel Comics is right now today. He's leaving Marvel for DC.
Oh, shit.
Holy crap. That's crazy. I have so many questions. Who's next? What is the situation? Because the man is like right now is writing like 20 books. He's like the second longest tenured writer at Marvel. And he retweeted this thing. It's legit. Like, he's really, what he's good with is like these epic storylines, teenage characters. He's the guy who started in 2000 writing Ultimate Spider-Man and gave us Miles Morales, Jessica Jones. He writes the Defenders, Guardians of the Galaxy. He's written the X-Men. He's written every character he wants to. Now, I don't know if how the sales are for his book these days. But him moving to DC is nuts. Anthony, comment.
I honestly haven't read comics in probably 3 years now, 4 years.
Yes.
So I haven't read a Bendis book in a while. Maybe he's written everybody he wanted to write in Marvel, and he's like, now it's time to write some guys in DC. As far as what I think of his writing style, he has some good stuff. My problem with him was that when I've read a lot of his books that were current as of 3 years ago, I always felt like all his characters were talking in the same voice. Like everybody had this like kind of young tilt to them and kind of this innocent, like goofy kind of tilt. Like I felt like he would write Iceman the same way he would write Miles Morales.
All the teenagers,
all the teenagers were all the same. Like I felt like everybody was in that teeny kind of mindset. So that was one of my complaints is that I felt like everyone the voices weren't distinguished.
Yeah,
enough.
he's got like a real distinct voice in his work.
Yeah, it was all like him. It felt like him writing it, which is, I guess, okay.
He did have a great run on Daredevil, and he gave us the Riri Williams, but also Avengers Disassembled into New Avengers.
Civil War
2, Siege, Secret Invasion, House of M.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ruggs, what do you think he's going to bring to DC, and is this going to be like a big a hole that Marvel has to fill now?
I mean, it's good for DC if he... I don't think he's going to be writing Batman. I hope he doesn't.
The only thing he's written is like one Batman story and some like collected thing. It's the only
I don't
DC
think
stuff
he's good for me. Maybe good for Green Lantern or Flash.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
yeah, he'd be good for those guys, like those lighthearted, dudes.
Yeah, that's the feel I get from him is that he's written some serious stuff, but
even
I feel
Superman,
he's best with the lightweight.
I think
stuff.
he could do a good Superman.
Oh, I'd be actually interested to see Brian Micheal Bendis Superman. He did kind of start the trend of like the decompressed stories where they really slowed down and the
long conversations.
Long conversations. You had to, the trade paperbacks felt more fulfilled, but this was like in 2000, the start of this style and launching the Ultimate Universe, giving us Miles Morales.
He's also did a part of a shit ton of event comics.
Yes, and he's written, I think he's consulted on a lot of the MCU early stuff. I think he wrote the first post-credit scene in Thor. I think he wrote that. He
might have been part of the Marvel committee.
He was part of that Marvel creative committee before it got disbanded, and now Feige just reports right to Disney.
He's up there with my favorite writers, though. He's really like in the top 10 of mine.
Ruggs, guess what? This now makes your other favorite writer, Dan Slott, the second most tenured writer for Marvel all time, and I believe not.
Who's first?
Number one, I think, is Peter David, who's come back and still writing, and he's written
still
the
there?
longest. He's right. Yeah, I think Peter David's writing stuff too. Peter David wrote like the intelligent Hulk, kind of talky Hulk that we're kind of see in this movie, sort of, not quite completely talky, but so Dan Slott moves up number 2. I'm wondering who else is going to jump ship, because I remember Jonathan Hickman had a meeting with Jim Lee like last year. And there's a bunch of other guys. Charles Soule is going to have to write 50 books now. Like, these guys, they write tons of books. The only thing I read anymore from Marvel is Star Wars and Spider-Man, and that's about it.
So you're reading Dan Slott, basically.
I'm reading Dan Slott and Chip Zdarsky, Spectacular, Peter Parker. I bought like the first 6 issues. It's pretty good. It's different. And Brian Michael Bendis' Miles Morales Spider-Man title. So one Dan Slott title, and the others 3 different writers. 3 different Spider-Man titles. It's good coverage. So those are the 2 crazy things to use. I wanted to get your thoughts on. I thought I don't know if it's going to get me buying comics. I may buy the first
Bendis.
thing.
He's a good read. Like, he's easy to read.
Easy to read. Yes, definitely. You flip through them.
Yeah.
Very colloquial. Very
breezy,
like real conversations. So maybe
Breezy, as in Chris Brown.
He's Yeezy.
No, that's Lil Wayne.
Oh, Jesus. Jeezy?
Oh, no, that's Kanye West.
Kanye is Yeezy.
Yeezy.
I thought Jesus.
Breezy is Chris Brown. Wheezy is Lil Wayne.
Wheezy is the wife from...
and then Young Jeezy is Young Jeezy.
Wheezy is the wife from... Oh, shit. What's that show? I'm blanking. Ruggs, what's the show? Wheezy?
Oh, that's the Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons. And
Weezer is also a band.
And Yeezy was Jesus' nickname in high school. Everyone knows that. Call me Yeezy. I'm the savior. All right, that's it for the news. Let's get to the Thor Ragnarok review. Here's your spoiler alert.
Let's spoil some shit, Batman.
Yahoo! Before we get to the review, though, I got to mention, if you want to get in touch with the show, send us your thoughts on this movie or anything, visit jockandnerd.com/contact. Our Twitter's there. Our Facebook group is there. Our email is there. Call the voicemail line. 312-248-4376. I don't know. Call it.
Why?
Just call it. Call the voicemail line. We play your voicemail and join our Facebook group. A big shout out to new members this week, Jason Mumert and Jason Brigger, who is a member of the History of Bad Ideas podcast.
Geek Boner.
Welcome to the group, people. Welcome to the shenanigans. Okay. Thor Ragnarok Ragnarok or Thor Fraggle Rock, as some people have been calling it, which is funny. There's a little bit of Fraggle Rock in there. Down to Fraggle Rock.
Anthony has no idea what Fraggle.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Every illusion I've made so far has been something that nobody that's younger than 30 knows.
Illusion.
Yeah.
Illusion.
Illusion. A reference.
Yeah.
The Jeffersons.
Illusion
Anyone?
would be like. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna even. I might embarrass myself by trying to define it.
Look it up. Look, before we get to our opinions on the movie, let's start with some facts. The fact being, this is not fake news, people. These are true facts. This is the 17th MCU movie.
Holy fuck.
In 9 years. It hasn't even been 10 years. 17th movie, 9 years. Not only that, they are 17 for 17 for their movies opening at number 1.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Have not had a movie that has not opened number 1 yet. This completes their 3rd trilogy in all these 17 movies. You know, following
nice.
Iron Man, Captain America. Now we got a Thor trilogy within the movies. Looking at the Rotten Tomato meter, this thing right now sitting at 93%, but that means shit. The average rating is 7.5 out of 10. 93% fresh.
93% meaning 93% of the critics liked it.
Yes. 93% of dentists would recommend it if you're on a stranded island. Chew on this movie. Box office.
Chew on Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Chew on Mjolnir. Oh, poor R.I.P. Mjolnir.
Poor Darcy.
Poor Darcy. Poor Jane Foster. Poor a lot of people that they just fucking...
Poor like the... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, look, we haven't got there yet. Look, this movie was made for $180 million.
Wow.
Opening weekend domestically, it opened $122 million.
Oh, shit.
Opening weekend, a little bit more than what they estimated.
It's the 6th highest opening of a Marvel movie all time.
Damn.
Domestically, beating out Spider-Man Homecoming.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Thor beating out Spider-Man.
Well,
yeah.
Well, there's a reason. So worldwide total as of November 7th, this movie has made $450 million already.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trends of
this
Marvel
thing's going to hit $1 billion.
No, I don't know if it'll hit $1 billion.
800?
I can't. The international is hard for me to predict.
Yeah.
But any movie that's opened this well domestically makes at least $300 million.
It'll do Guardians money.
Guardians 2 finished. So for reference, Guardians 2 opened 146.
Whoa.
Finished at 389. I think this actually might have better word of mouth than Guardians 2.
This could be
So it could get to that. It could get to that number.
400 million domestically.
Maybe like 380,
390. Damn.
Well, I think that the lead-in for Guardians was Guardians 1. It was better.
Right.
Like Dark World was not a good lead-in.
No, not at all. I think everyone forgot about Dark World.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
I mean, clearly the marketing of this movie, I think, just brought people out. Because
they did a good job, Mark.
Who the fuck gave a shit about Thor? This also, because of Thor, this is a crazy stat. The MCU becomes the first film franchise to cross $5 billion at the North American box office.
Oh, shit.
Now, think about that. That is more than the Star Wars franchise, the Harry Potter franchise, the Batman franchise.
What about the Dark Universe franchise?
Wait, well, that's dead. They're not. They had one.
I was gonna say. Oh, by the way, they announced today that is now done.
Right. I believe Kurtzman and the other producer just left.
Everything left. Nobody. All the movies are now dead in the water.
That's like. Can you have a franchise, a shared universe with one movie? Technically there's
all
two.
The actors that they had signed up have left.
What happened? What's Javier Bardem and Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp gonna do now? What happens to Russell Crowe? We're never gonna find out what happens to Project whatever the fuck it was called in the shitty movie. I didn't even see it. Prodigium. My Prodigium was I had a little rash on my Prodigium today, but I put some ointment on it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a part of your inner
it's
throat.
Better. It's a lot better right now.
I'll just say this though about that.
Isn't this crazy?
It's much harder than you would think to create a shared universe. Yeah. As by example with the Dark Universe.
Yes. Even the DC Warner Brothers
they're still trying to figure that shit
a rough
out.
time. X-Men, had 17 years and it's all fucking wonky. But this thing, Jesus, $5 billion. So another side note, the other story that came out, Wonder Woman now, top grossing superhero origin movie of all time.
Oh, shit.
In 5 months, it made $821.74 million. That just tops 2002 Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. That made $821.7 million and held that record.
You got to adjust for inflation.
Yeah, but that record, it held that record for 15 years. Adjusted for inflation, I mean, that's going to help top it, but good for
I'm saying Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man.
Oh, that number would be well over $1 billion.
Way higher, yeah.
But
trying to get back to Thor, it's based on mythical, gods or whatever.
Gods and jokes, which leads us to our opening thoughts. We'll run the review like we usually do. Opening thoughts, what we liked, what we didn't like, some Easter eggs, yada, yada. Anthony, why don't you go first?
Okay.
How'd you feel about the first Thor movies, and what'd you think of this one walking out?
So the first Thor movie I enjoyed. The second Thor movie I thought was okay. I don't ever really not like any of the Marvel movies,
right.
And this won't be the case either.
Yep.
Breaking that mold. I've seen it twice. I would say it's an entertaining movie in parts. But overall, it's not my flavor because I felt like it was too much on the side of Spaceballs and too much of. I saw a review on Birth Movies Death, and I think it was pretty spot on of just kind of a farce. Like everything was running to the joke, like nothing could be serious. So it was just it wasn't how I would have wanted to see Thor in his third and final movie. Not final movie, but his.
It's third
movie.
of the trilogy. And I mean, this is the 6th time we've seen Thor in 17 movies.
It is.
So, okay, Ruggs. Opening thoughts.
Well, I went into this, after that first trailer with Immigrant Song, it looked like it was going to be like a fucking badass movie, right?
Yep.
Then that second trailer came out where it's like, oh, here's some jokes. It's going to be a little funnier. And then I'm like, oh, and then we start hearing from the news about Taika Waititi doing all this improv.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh no, this is going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I did not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I mean, I think it's an okay movie. It's like, it's decent. It's not like a bad piece of shit or anything. but it's just not my favorite of the Marvel movies. It's in the middle somewhere towards the bottom. And I was like, I was scared that this was going to be the same thing. And I felt like this was a little funnier. Like the jokes were better and worked better in Thor, but nothing else worked. So if you're there, if you're going to laugh and you're going to be fine, you're going to enjoy yourself. But if you're going to see a Marvel movie about Marvel characters and progressing the story or even paying attention to the story, look somewhere else.
Good. That's exactly what I would say.
Well put.
There we go.
I myself, look, the first Thor movie, I appreciated the Shakespearean nature and kind of them taking it.
Kenneth Branagh, baby.
Kenneth Branagh, it had the essence of like the serious Thor. The second movie, it's a little wackier. There's a little more jokes, but it's pretty forgettable and kind of just there for Loki, for some fun Loki stuff. And then just like you said, Ruggs, yeah. We knew this was going to be improv. Last week we talked about how they added 30 minutes of jokes back in after Comic-Con after having a 100-minute cut. And I was like, oh boy, all right, I'm going to walk into this expecting a slapstick movie. And I got exactly what I expected. I have 2 F words for this movie. It's fun and forgettable. Super entertaining, super fun. Nothing wrong with the movie. I didn't laugh out loud during the movie.
Me neither.
Like I did during Guardians. And in fact, the crowd around me, I saw it also twice. The first night was on Friday. The crowd, the first line where he's like, oh, hey, I bet you're wondering how I got in this case. The first line, everyone's fucking laughing their ass off. And I'm like, it's not that funny. Am I missing something? So everyone was laughing at stuff. And at times I was like, guys, it's not that funny. Relax. But it gave you everything from slapstick humor to like dry, like British wit. I just wish it had a little bit more
Australian,
substance.
New Zealand wit.
Well, it's New Zealand comedy. Yeah, it's definitely Flight of the Conchords, New Zealand, Taika Waititi comedy. So, yeah, that was great. It's fun, but it's so lighthearted, so superficial for a movie where so many huge things happen that will have repercussions in this universe that we have been invested in for 17 movies. It's just so superficial. Had it taken itself just a little bit more seriously, I would have enjoyed it more. Like, I really should have loved this because I love that kind of humor. But it was just like, yeah, it's forgettable. It's good. It's forgettable, though. So
where do you want to take the conversation, Imran?
Let's start with what we liked.
There were things that worked in this movie.
Yes.
There were things that
What worked for you, Ruggs? Give me one thing.
Well, I love the production design.
I love the influence from Jack Kirby. It reminded me of like Flash Gordon and the late 70s, early 80s. It looked great. The costumes are great. The effects are fucking incredible. The design for Surtur and everyone it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Great to look at.
What else?
I would say a lot of Marvel movies have been getting this kind of stamp of like they're all kind of the same feel.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are going to compare this to Guardians too. I didn't really get the Guardians vibe other than it's like this in space and in like these wacky kind of settings. I felt like this, after especially doing some research after, is like Taika Waititi's movie through and through. So for that, I would give them a lot of credit because they're letting at least the director kind of run with it a little bit more and put his like stamp. And I felt that way coming off of this movie. I read a couple interviews where it was like Marvel basically said you have to incorporate this in the beginning and you have to get to this point in the end, but everything else, just do your shit.
How you get there is up to you.
So I respect that because they let Taika be Taika and have his own way of doing things. I read another article where he was talking about the way he does comedy and how it's a little different than most. So the scene where Thor and Korg are talking about the weapons, and they're basically goofing off about all the weapons and like how these are all kind of ridiculous, and even the hammer's ridiculous. Yeah. Like most American comedies would be like it'd be straight up like, here's your weapon. Yeah. Go out there, have a great, go out there. I believe in you, whatever. And then he would turn around once Thor walks away and goes, he has no chance. Like that would be the normal American comedy. But the way Taika does it is they just address the fact that everything on here looks ridiculous. They just talk about it, matter of factly, and they keep talking about it. and they drag it into the ground. Like this, like you rode the hammer pulled you off.
Oh, the hammer
my
rode
God,
you?
the hammer
No.
pulled you off.
Oh, you rode on the hammer. No,
or like
rode on your back,
that 3-pronged thing. Would it kill 3 vampires at the same time? Like stuff like that, where they're just making fun of what's on set.
Well, it's so self-aware of itself.
Well, you'd expect that a movie like what is it, the 17th movie?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That at some point they're going to start, making fun of themselves.
Right.
But it was on a scale that I didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being self-aware and parodying what you are, but the whole thing is a parody. Like,
let's focus on the positive of.
Yes.
I think all of us were surprised at how much comedy, like not even comedy, but how self-aware it was, and how it didn't take itself seriously at all.
At all.
So, like, if in that instance, my point is that they're trying something different.
Yes.
And they're letting like the director do things and kind of make this his own thing, which I think overall is a positive moving forward. If we're looking at like Ryan Coogler's Black Panther and the Russo brothers, who I think have been given a lot of latitude in making their movies with Infinity War. Like the directors are kind of getting a little bit more leeway.
Look, they're getting a little bit, but there's still kind of like a formulaic thing about it. There's still these parameters they got to stay in.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
I jump in. Like Iron Man Jon Favreau was a comedic director, right?
Yep.
Favreau set the tone for the Marvel universe. Robert Downey did a lot of improv with Tony Stark. And so this is in the same vein as that. It's just Favreau reined it in and made a very balanced film that a lot of people can enjoy for all different reasons. And this is a movie simply that you can enjoy if you want to see entertainment and comedy. It's kind of like a Fast and Furious movie. That's what I would put it like. It's like, but not as, the action isn't as staged as well as Fast and Furious. The effects are better.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is a Marvel comedy. It's like each movie is like an episode in this really long TV show. So like, this is a great episode of like a Marvel sketch comedy.
What was formulaic about this movie?
I wouldn't say it's formulaic.
No, I'm asking Imran because that's what he said.
I mean, you still have the
3-act structure.
Yeah, I guess that's just
wasn't formulaic.
Standard movie.
And the movie never ever took itself seriously.
Well, formulaic in there is a, like, Marvel's not going. It's PG-13 safe.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like fun for the whole family. It's they're not really upping the stakes of anything.
I mean,
I will get to that in my criticism.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's a Waititi movie, but it still feels like a Marvel movie. You know, it's not. It's not completely removed. Here's another positive. Honestly, that's what I'm going to say. Like the most positive thing is like they finally gave Thor a fucking personality. Because let's face it, what was the alternative to have a boring, brooding Thor with this character? What else can you really do?
He wasn't brooding in the other movies. He was a fun guy.
I mean, he got more fun, as he made more
even
and more
in the first
appearances.
one, he was into drinking beer and
but it was instead of like how often can he do the fish out of water thing. I did like that it's not on Earth at all. And, but
it is actually the fish out of water thing, I would argue, because he's on these other planets and he's acting like Thor, and everyone is like, "You're a joke."
That's a good point.
Who gives a? They keep calling him the Lord of Thunder.
He's like, it's God of Thunder,
right? So he is a fish out of water.
Who knew he was so funny? Was he hitting like Asgard open mic stand-up clubs like in the last 2 years, working on a Type 15?
Chris Hemsworth basically was like, told Kevin Feige, "I'm done doing Thor unless we change this up." He wanted to be funny.
Yeah.
The quote is, "I feel like I'm dying here. I feel like I have handcuffs on."
Jesus. And he, you know what? He's got good timing. Like, he's pretty funny.
I think he's great doing that. It's just the amount of it has to balance out. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
Another thing I liked was the music. Not only the synthy, like weird 80s music, but fucking Led Zeppelin Immigrant Song. This I thought was interesting. because it was in the trailer and then they put it in the movie. Turns out Taika Waititi, when he pitched this in 2015 in the sizzle reel, he had this song. He had this song in his mind from the very beginning. And apparently Led Zeppelin are sticklers when it comes to using their stolen music that they stole in the first place. They don't like to let it out. There's maybe been like 4 movies that they've let their songs be used in, and they sent them this trailer and they allowed them to use movie, but they wanted, Marvel wanted to tweak the song a little bit. And Zeppelin was like, nope, that's where we're going to put our fucking foot down. We stole it. You can't change it. So they didn't let him tweak it. They wanted to add like orchestra and shit. But I got to say, dude, Thor fighting Surtur to Immigrant Song is pretty fucking badass. Like, that's a badass fucking scene right there. And
it comes back twice, right?
Yeah. And at the end, I was surprised that we got a big battle right up front. Like, I thought all that Surtur shit was going to be at the end, but it's kind of the bookend of the movie. Which wasn't bad.
I enjoyed Korg. I thought Korg was hilarious.
Korg is
I enjoyed. There's moments like I enjoyed Hulk being this pouty child, kind of. I enjoyed Jeff Goldblum just being told to, hey, go be fucking Jeff Goldblum. In this movie, don't even care about the fact that you're the Grandmaster. Just do Jeff Goldblum.
People love it.
I mean, like Tessa Thompston, I thought was solid.
Great. She's badass.
Thor was solid. So the acting was there. I mean, Cate Blanchett had nothing to do, but she was just hamming it up as Hela.
I thought she was kind of sexy too, in a weird way. I was like, she's very sexy.
She
in that outfit.
She looked great.
She was great. She worked out.
Yeah.
I also, going along the lines of trying something different, I'll give Marvel this in that the Thor movies for a lot of fans have just been pretty forgettable. A lot of fans say like Thor movies are the worst MCU movies. So at least they didn't go down the same track of making the Thor movies like the predecessors, and that they went with something different. Now, it wasn't my flavor, but at least they're trying something different.
They went so far the other way.
They went the other way. They went real
out.
fast.
The flock disagrees with you. The herd is.
They threw everything out from before, and it's like almost like a standalone movie. But they reference so many things that happen in so many other Marvel movies that you have to watch to get it. It's crazy, and like this is memorable, but it's not memorable at the same time. It's really weird. Okay. Sticking with the positive stuff, let's talk about Hulk. I did kind of I love what they did with Hulk. My favorite line is when they're like, Hulk, don't smash. And he's like, oh, big monster. And he's all just upset and he walks away. It was so great.
Baby muscles. Thor baby arms.
Thor baby arms. He's like, go again.
Anytime Hulk, when they had Hulk acting like that child, I was laughing. And I wasn't laughing hysterically, but I thought it was all pretty clever.
It was a lot of chuckles, a lot of subdued humor. Him battling Thor, though, that is something I think everyone has wanted to see. Now, I'm a little confused as to
were you pleased with that?
I liked it, but I didn't think Thor was that strong. I didn't think Thor. He did have to tap into his electricity power. I was like, because Thor really beat up the Hulk, and we didn't really find out who would have won because they zapped him. But the Hulk was down, and Thor was going in for a kill. So, I don't know.
You know what? I actually thought I liked that fight.
Yeah.
Somewhat disappointed in it. I think when Thor and Hulk throw down, it should be bigger. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would have broken out of the stadium.
Right. Yeah, the whole
they should
thing
be flying through the air and just punching each other. Like it should kind of feel like Superman when Superman fights Zod, where they're just punching each other through shit.
Right, flying through the sky.
I'm glad it wasn't like that.
Not exactly like that, but like that kind of scale of like they nothing can corral these two if they're going at it full bore.
But I love getting the Planet Hulk stuff with like the fans. He's got fans chanting, and they've got masks and parade. And his outfit, his gladiator outfit, was pretty dope. I thought that was really well done, and even Ruffalo when he's not the Hulk, he's a little goofy, but it's not bad. But he gets a little goofy.
He's got Robert Downey Jr.'s pants on.
That was funny.
Yeah, he's like,
why are his pants so tight?
Stark wears his pants so tight.
Always pulling at his crotch.
Yeah.
What else? That's
really like a diss. That's like a diss to Iron Man's penis.
There's no
I'll bring up Korg again. Korg really, I thought was funny.
Yeah, let's talk about Korg.
That's Taika Waititi.
That is mocap Taika Waititi.
I was trying to start a revolution, but I didn't have enough pamphlets.
And so, that's Doug's fought the champion. Doug's dead.
Oh, new Doug.
Oh, okay. We'll see you later, new Doug. Yeah. I love it. He's like, oh, we're going to jump on this giant spaceship. You want to come with us? Like, just to have and then Meek. Oh, Meek's dead. I've just been carrying him around. And he's alive.
What I really liked is that there's a fighter in the UFC named Mark Hunt.
Oh,
it's a giant
Mark Hunt,
Samoan dude from New Zealand.
Geez.
Fucking destroyer. He talks just like that.
Does he have a brother named Mike?
And Taika said he based that character on all these bouncers that he met in New Zealand that were huge dudes.
Yeah.
And they all talk like that. They're all like have this very soft-spoken demeanor about them.
Great contrast of the look and the voice. And those characters are from Planet Hulk. I guess, you know, Bilotti told us he loved this movie and it reminded him a lot of the Walt Simonson run on Thor in the 80s. And so part of my problem with this character is I didn't really read a lot of Thor comic books. I never got him for a long time. The only thing I did read was that 2012 Jason Aaron run, The God Butcher, which featured a Thor in the future who had an eye patch, present-day Thor,
I'll tell you
and
a
younger
little secret.
Thor. Yeah.
Not a lot of people read Thor comics.
No,
so that's why they're able to do something like
Yes.
this. If you pulled this shit with Batman, no way.
But I guess that Walt Simonson run in the 80s was kind of wacky like this. Like they had the Thor frog was where, and you know, they even referenced that in the movie where he's like, oh, he turned me into a frog once. So if you were a fan of those, I could see how you would kind of love this. It just needed a little bit more substance. What else did we like? I'm kind of out of things that I like. It's fun. Look, the main word that they want, fun equals cash. It's definitely fun.
It's a fun movie. Yes, it is fun. And it's funny.
I went with my mom and she thought it was hilarious. She was like, I didn't know it would be this funny. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, it's surprising that they turned this fucking Thor into this big, huge $500,000 making fucking movie now.
Yeah, and they're making
new fans.
They're making it a comedy. I mean, who would have thought that a Thor comedy would be making this much money?
Yeah, that's crazy. But the more I thought about it, like it's really the only thing you could do with Thor. Like, what else are you gonna do?
There was some cool. I'll say this. There was some cool imagery that I wish they would have touched upon more, like the Valkyries, being this army of women that like are fighting Hela and keeping her away. I liked that. It's all kind of tying together in that shit is going down because I read this on Reddit, but the reason shit has been going down in all across the galaxy is that Odin's dying. Yeah. And Odin has been the guy that's been kind of keeping it all together. And
that's why it's falling
dying,
apart.
Everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
Right. So I like the larger implications if you look for them. But this movie doesn't really care about the larger implications.
No, they just mention it offhand.
You have to really be thinking about it for them to even be looking for it because they don't care.
Like, you've seen the movie twice, so you've been able to, like, kind of reflect upon it and then look for things deeper. So you have a different outlook on it.
Even looking for things deeper, it's tough. Because the movie... Okay, I'll stop there.
Okay, look, because so many huge things happen, and they're just thrown out there. Okay, I think, anybody else have anything for the What We Like section?
The reason huge things happen, so going back to, there was an event a couple of years ago that Kevin Feige ran where they announced all the slate. It was right before Civil War was coming out, and they announced Thor Ragnarok, and Kevin Feige was like, Thor Ragnarok is going to do to the Marvel Universe what Winter Soldier did for the Marvel Universe, which is fucking change everything.
Yes.
If you look at it, this movie from that standpoint of not any context and just the plot points, it does change a lot.
Yes.
Asgard's gone.
Yeah.
Odin's dead.
Yep.
Thor is the king of Asgard, and they're flying to Earth to bring Asgard to Earth. Like, that's a lot. That's a huge shakeup if you're in like a Marvel comic book fan.
Also, Mjolnir destroyed, and Thor gets dumped by Jane. Which, that's gotta hurt. Still, you're the king of Asgard, and it's fucking
Warriors
human.
3 is gone. Like everyone, like all these characters are gone.
We'll get into that.
But we'll get into what the problems are with.
But that's the thing for a movie where these huge events happen. Wow, is there a lot of jokes? You know what? Let's take a quick break. I'm gonna play a couple of promos, some independent podcasts, and we will come back with what didn't work for us and some Easter eggs from Thor Ragnarok.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get you back to your podcasty goodness now in a minute.
First, we'd like to take a second to tell you about our marginally better podcast, the 365 Flicks podcast.
I am the Scottish Whedon whore, Chris.
And I am the pissy ex-video store clerk, Kev.
And we bring you the latest movie and TV news, reviews and rants.
All that and a bunch of top fives that you really will not care about.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Libsyn and all other third-party podcasting apps.
And on top of all that, you'll get free access to our indie talk. You'll hear us speaking with directors, producers, actors, comic book creators and artists about their experiences.
Don't forget to drop us 5 stars and follow us on the Facebooks and the Twitters.
Told him not to go in the water.
Called The Working Man's Nerdist, Tales from the Fandom is a weekly podcast where David talks with a guest about the fandoms that they love. Whether it's classics like Star Trek, Star Wars and Tolkien, or new ones like Game of Thrones or Harry Potter. Anime, books, TV shows, movies, role-playing, video games, cosplay and more are discussed. Each episode is different based on the guest. No fandom is too big or too small. Subscribe to Tales from the Fandom and join in on the fun.
Trivia Geeks, the unpredictable game show podcast, is back with a brand new season. They've got a new host, new games, and a new day and time. But that's not all. Now you can download their companion app, Triv Now, and play along in real time. Watch Carrie on YouTube as she tries to convince her partner that his Dark Knight hasn't risen in years. Listen on Diamond Club and Alpha Geek Radio, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can also follow the show on Facebook and Twitter and get all the latest updates and showtimes.
And
All right, this is exclusively for the Voice from the Underground podcast who left us that glowing review. Hey, listener, did you know we have a fan club? Check it out at jockandnerd.com/Patreon, where you can support the show and get bonus content. You get exclusive access to a bonus feed with bonus episodes, extra content, instant reactions to movie, post-shows, stuff that's not in the main feed. And I just want to thank one of our Patreon supporters, Joe from work, who for supporting and listening and sending his instant reaction to Thor for Patreon. I love when people on Patreon send things for Patreon. It's great. Like that, you're the second person. Matt Dalhauer also. It's hilarious. I'm going to play it at the end of the show because we have some thoughts from some of our listeners about Thor Ragnarok I want to share. Okay, continuing on with Thor Ragnarok, let's talk about what didn't work for us. In the show notes, and I'll put this picture in the show notes, but right here, guys, I have this clip from the trailer that shows the Incredible Hulk and Thor and Valkyrie and Loki standing on the bridge about to fight. Does this look familiar? It shouldn't, because this never happened in the movie.
Oh, shit.
So I hate when they do that, but I would have loved to seen the four of them together. Hulk was off fighting a Fenris Wolf.
Fenris Wolf. Originally, too, that scene where Hela destroys Mjolnir.
She was in the city alley.
It was in an alley, yeah.
You can kind of tell it was a little green screeny.
Yeah, oh, that was bad.
In Norway.
Yeah, well, they did it because apparently Odin was supposed to be kind of like this hobo.
Yeah, remember there was a set shot of him as a homeless guy. Whatever happened with that?
Taika was like, okay, that's too much because Odin's gonna die, so we can't have him being a hobo dying.
No, I did like the Doctor Strange cameo. It was short and funny, and you see that he's learned to use his powers a little bit better, and he's been keeping track on how many other people. He's like, I've been keeping track.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet
on a bunch of people.
I liked it, but this was the first Marvel cameo where I was like, that's just a cameo. Like I didn't feel like it was integrated as written in as well as it could have been.
All right, let's start there. Speaking of cameos, there's another cameo that took me just right out the fucking movie. And parts of this movie, like I said, it reminded me of Flash Gordon, but parts of it reminded me of Game of Thrones also. Like right down to the green fire, the eternal flame, when the green fire shoots out.
Other than that,
the play within a play, which I know it's a thing that's been done in other like medieval things. But the scene where Thor gets back to Asgard and Odin, who's really Loki, is watching a play about Thor the Dark World, the end of the movie. I was like, that's kind of Game of Thrones-y with the fucking...
yeah.
know. So, but playing Thor is his brother, Luke Hemsworth. Playing Odin is, what's his name?
Neill.
Sam Neill. And then playing Loki, Matt Damon. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is Matt Damon doing in this movie? Like,
I had to admit, I laughed.
but like,
it does take you out of it, but I laughed.
It's like it's so crazy that you don't know what to think.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think the larger, I'll start with that though. Yeah. The larger issue is, as someone that really enjoys the shared universe,
yes,
this movie is like, fuck all that. Like, they're like, I enjoy the thread, the storyline that's running across all the movies, and this movie could care less about any of that stuff.
Look, I appreciated that it had a little bit more plot than Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but honestly, I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 2
I would disagree with that completely.
And Spider-Man had more heart than this movie. Like, those movies got me to feel emotions, whereas this, I didn't really feel like there was the few and far between scenes where between Thor and Loki and the themes of brotherhood and family.
They don't care about that.
No, it doesn't. Like, it just kind of falls flat. So I just wish overall it took itself a little bit more seriously in parts. Would have been nice anchors to the comedy.
Well, as far as continuity is concerned, they pretty much just fuck everything that came before. Like, they got rid of any ties to Earth. All those Earth characters not involved.
Yep. The Infinity Gauntlet's fake.
Yeah,
wasn't even real.
And the Warriors 3 and Sif not involved really.
Oh my God,
they die. They never even acknowledge that they're dead.
No, they die right away without doing anything.
That play is basically a big fuck you to Thor: Dark World. They're even playing the music that Frigga died in. When Frigga dies, they play that music.
Oh my God.
And they use that music in the play within the play, which is basically like, this is all a joke.
So look, here's the thing. Like you said, it's very Spaceballs, and you said Monty Python, and I love Spaceballs. I love Monty Python, but those things are inherently parodies. So I didn't know what I was walking into was a fucking parody movie, because it was kind of like Chris Hemsworth playing a character who was playing Thor, a version of Thor. In a movie, not like, it was just weird.
Like, it's like Dark Helmet. It's not Darth Vader. It's like a version of Darth Vader that's funny.
So, but even those parodies tend to have more heart and a little more connection to its characters than this. It was so strange.
It starts off with like Surtur, who, if you're a comic book fan, you know that Surtur's a badass fucking villain, and he's voiced by Clancy Brown. So you're like, this is already like little cheesy.
Yeah.
And then Surtur is just basically a joke in the first scene. And this is the guy that at the end is supposed to destroy Ragnarok, or invoke Ragnarok and destroy Asgard, and you're supposed to be horrified that Asgard's destroyed, but you literally undercut that character in the first scene.
Yeah.
There was like a movie that came out with like James Franco where he was like a knight, and it was like a funny like Seth Rogen movie.
Oh,
remember that? Like Your Highness, I think it was called.
Yeah, with John Cena.
This is what this was. It was Your Highness. Like a send up of Thor. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a send up, but like I don't know. The fact that what we just said before the break, like the huge things that happened, you would think there would be a little bit more weight to some of these things. I mean, I didn't even care about like the Asgardians that were being rescued. Like, I didn't give a shit. It didn't matter. Like, who cares?
That's a problem that they've never been able to address with the Thor films, is Asgard really has never felt lived in.
Yeah.
So when by the end you're like, Odin's like, Asgard is not a place, it's a people.
Right.
It's like, dude, I haven't seen anybody living in Asgard. Like, why do I care about these people?
It's not even people. Like, I don't know anybody.
I don't know what the hell. Like, there's these people that dress like medieval aliens. What are you talking about here?
So when Hela defeated the Valkyries, when was that? Like, when did she get banished? How did that happen? I thought she's been banished.
I think it was like Odin used the Valkyries to keep her away.
You know what the funny thing about this movie is? I'm going to go on a little rant.
All right, do it. All right, hold on. Let me give you the thing.
Here's the rundown. Okay, so this movie is, it's a funny movie. It's fun, and it does introduce interesting things, but it just glosses right over them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to just talk about a couple things. So obviously, Ragnarok glossed over, people dying glossed over, like major characters just fucking biting the dust. All right. Then you have World War Hulk and Planet Hulk glossed over. Like they can't never go. That's like what Batman versus Superman did. They completely like took that fight from Dark Knight and they could never do it again.
Yeah.
So now you can never do Planet Hulk. Like if Universal does get, or if they ever do get the character back, they can't do it.
They burned it. Yeah.
They burned it. Yeah. They totally burned it. And there's interesting things that happen in this movie. And like, even when Hela goes into the Odin's thing and cracks open the thing and where that painting is and reveals the truth.
Yes.
It's like it's kind of commentary on America and how like we want to cover up our past by building a different story. All these interesting things, and they just gloss over them all. And I think that's the real crime, because you could see that there's cool things that we're never going to get to see, and the trade-off is a joke.
I think those cool things that you see were what Kevin Feige had originally had in mind and for the movie, for a different director.
Yeah.
And he was like, we need to touch these points. So Taika was like, okay, we'll touch them, but I don't give a fuck about them. Like, we're going to run to the joke, and we're going to make every part of everything on this undercut with a joke.
I'll put this in here, but I will bookend it with jokes.
Yeah, it was. I really feel like they had the outline of what they wanted to do, and you could see the interesting things that Rugboy mentioned, but they didn't care about them.
Another thing is they dismantle Thor. They cut his hair off.
Yeah, they
take away Mjolnir.
Yeah.
They give him a new power set, and they make him like everybody like doesn't care about him being the god of thunder or anything like that. So they basically dismantle Thor, and like now Thor is a different person. They took away his eye, so he's a different character, like almost completely. He's like a Raiden or something like that.
Right. I don't mind the dismantling in terms of like changing his character to look a little different. What really bugged me is that the Warriors 3 is supposed to be like his boys.
Yeah.
And he does not shed any emotion for them whatsoever.
Yeah.
I feel like that was even less true to the character. Like, I feel like Thor would be like really fucking pissed off and heartbroken that the Warriors 3 are dead and they don't even care about it.
Well,
all of Asgard is gone.
All of Asgard is gone. Scourge bites the dust. What'd you think of Scourge and Carl Urban?
I thought that his turn at the end where he wanted to be a good guy, I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
He wanted to get away with it or whatever.
It's a little predictable. He snuck away, and then he was going to step out.
I feel like they gave Scourge more of a story arc, though, than Hela. Like, what the fuck?
Hela was just there to explain things and show
This is another
paintings.
Marvel villain problem where they did not give a fuck about the villain at all.
You never ever felt that Hela was like the death goddess.
Yeah.
No, there was
she was a knife goddess.
There was there was no stakes. You didn't really feel like the scenes of her fighting were pretty amazing because she's taken down on multiple opponents at once and just destroying. But
you
never felt any threat or anything, and like you didn't feel happy when she got killed.
The disposable people that she was killing that no one cared about.
The mindless people. I mean,
she kills the disposable people, and then she kills the Warriors 3, and there's no they don't even let that sink in. It's just like, she killed them.
It's all the same,
right? I really don't understand why they cast such renowned actors in villain roles and then don't let them do anything other than just ham it up and just be a villain.
And I mean, even her was like, she's just like, you're the goddess of death. You're a little too jokey to be the goddess of death. Like, I can't take you seriously if you have these great one-liners.
Some of her dialogue was really bad at the end.
Yeah.
Like the best line that she had at the end was saying that Thor looked like her father because he lost the eye.
Right.
But then there was like, you're nothing. Like that's what you're going to give her for dialogue.
So does Thor even need his hammer anymore?
So the hammer was a conduit, basically what they say for the lightning.
Like
he's always had that power. He just was put
can he
channel.
Fly with the lightning power?
Yeah, he was flying.
Assume,
he was flying a little bit. You kind of see him flying around in this.
I think he can travel through the lightning, sort of like Electro in Spider-Man 2, or Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, he can ride it.
It reminds me of like Destiny when you use the Warlock. He's got the same kind of thing.
Another thing I did like, though, was the scene where they're jumping from spaceship to spaceship and destroying things, where she starts and he's like, oh, I should be doing that. Take the wheel. I mean, that was pretty fucking badass. Very
now, what did you think about the floppy Hulk?
What do you mean floppy?
When Bruce Banner jumps out of the thing and then flops dead.
Again,
and then
I laughed.
It's funny.
Honestly,
if it was,
I did laugh.
But this is something you would see like in a Mad Magazine version of the show, like a parody of the show. It's great physical humor, but I was like, really? Like, it was funny, but I'm like,
I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed.
But
it's a play on, remember Incredible Hulk when Edward Norton jumps out the plane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he turns into the Hulk. Yeah, it was. They were trying to make fun of it. I mean, that's the thing. This whole movie was making fun of everything else that came before.
Everybody's timing was off. Like Thor's timing was off, and with the hammer in the beginning, and he just flops down. I mean, it is funny because you're always like, what if he doesn't turn? What happens then? Like, I've always wanted to know. Well, he'll just fucking go splat. But geez, like some of the stuff you could have reined it in a little. You could have pulled back on a couple.
I felt like a lot of the action, although entertaining, wasn't all that memorable.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
There was nothing I felt like where I was like, man, that was a kick-ass action scene.
No, I agree. It looked great, but it's
like
not
all the ingredients were there for it to look good and like to be something good, but
because there's no stakes involved,
right.
you know, it doesn't really connect with you, and you don't remember it. Loki was also good being Loki. Do you think he swiped the fucking Tesseract on the way out?
Of course.
Yeah, right?
Oh, you bet your ass he did.
He took a little look, and I'm like, oh, he's taking that fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, Loki was okay. It was just, I don't know. They just did. Even he really didn't have much
Hulk
to do.
Grabbed Loki and like grabbed Thor and pounded him like
And
Loki.
then Loki's like,
funny.
yes, that's how it feels.
That was kind of funny. Too.
I thought it was funny when like Loki was just was like, I need to get off this planet when he sees the Hulk.
The minute he sees
him. There's a lot of entertaining moments within the moment.
You could have kept that in the movie. That's not a parody. That's
Right.
like something that he would actually say.
Yeah.
So there are times where you could have him laughing when Thor gets beat up like that. That's something that Loki would do. All right, but so those are fine. Just they could have chosen more moments like that and less moments where you're lampooning.
You're
every 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'll go back to the opening scene. Not only is Surtur made a joke, but like when Thor is like turning slowly, although it is funny.
Yes,
I don't think Thor's character is going to be like, oh wait,
hold on,
let me turn.
It's like
okay.
I'm not even moving; it's doing it by itself.
Like that he shouldn't even be turning around like that.
No.
It shouldn't be written.
And
that
then
way.
they did it a second time, and that's when I rolled my eyes.
And this is something that it's like when I saw that, I'm like, this is what you would do in like a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Right.
Like this is exactly what it would be. Remember that
it was improv. They had a bunch of improv. Honestly.
Yeah. Remember that book Ruggs, What the? Which was like a parody of Marvel stories. Like this was like a What the issue of Thor. So I don't know. It was just a little alarming that it was so superficial. And this is the Disneyest version of Thor we got. This is another thing that concerns me about these movies coming forward. Like they know, Disney of course loves this. They know fun equals money, safe equals money. But is it just enough to be fun? Like, is it wrong for me to want a little bit more, a little bit of substance?
There's nothing wrong with this movie. What bothers me more than anything is like the hype reaction.
The hyperbole around this movie is pretty incredible.
I can't even fathom it. Like I haven't heard anything negative at all from anyone, except for like a few people. And now you're starting to see like Grace Randolph, who does great movie reviews, like completely dissected this movie. You should check out her spoiler review if you can get it on YouTube. She liked the movie too, but then she had criticisms about it. I didn't hear any of these criticisms until like, I was even surprised that Anthony didn't like it. Or didn't like parts of it. And I was surprised that you weren't like over the moon over it.
Not over the moon over
because Guardians of the Galaxy came out and everybody bought that hook, line, and sinker. And I was like, no, I'm not buying this shit. Sorry. I don't like this Pac-Man fucking joke thrown in there. And the Mary Poppins shit I didn't buy. but whatever. Like at least the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie set the tone for it.
Yeah.
And was like, okay, we're gonna be a little funny. We're gonna be a little bit weirder than the other Marvel movies. We're gonna have like a fun soundtrack and it's not gonna be that serious. Thor didn't really have it had jokes in it peppered throughout, and the main person who made the jokes is not in this movie.
Yeah,
which was that girl from Two Broke Girls.
Oh yeah, Kat Dennings. Yeah,
she was the one making all the jokes in all the Thor movies.
Right, she was the joke.
She wasn't there. She took her out. Yeah, and then now everybody else is funny.
Well, and Hemsworth he's in the Ghostbusters reboot. He's pretty funny, and I think like people are surprised that he does have comedic chops, and they just decided to double down on that.
People are surprised he has comedic chops because he looks like your next action hero.
Yes,
but that doesn't mean he can't be funny.
But that doesn't mean he has to be like surfer, bro.
I know.
Also,
I wasn't. I don't even know if I would say I was disappointed. I was just shocked at the turn they took on.
Right, that it went
and it just wasn't for me
this way. Look, the other
especially after watching like Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like Thor could be like that.
It could, with a balance. Like, the
Right.
balance is what is bugging me the most. The fact that they went, okay, the other problem I have is this year, Marvel has given us 3 comedies, 2 of them being space comedies, and then you have your John Hughes comedy.
Does it keep you up at night?
It does, because I think that's why this comedy that I should have loved was starting to wear thin, because this is for 3 we got comedies. I'm missing a little bit of the seriousness, a little of I know it's superheroes. I know it's supposed to be fun, and people are like, oh, look, I went in for this to be fun and mindless and entertaining, and I loved it. And that's fine, but why can't it be that and more and actually mean something and make you feel something also?
I think you'll be fine on the next 2.
Well, that's what I'm hoping is. But Black Panther, is this going to be a Ryan Coogler movie, or is it going to be another Marvel origin formula with a little bit of Ryan Coogler thrown on top of it? This is what concerns me.
This movie actually made me more confident for Ryan Coogler's film.
Oh, that's good.
Because of how much of a stamp Taika had on it. Because at the end of the day, even Taika admitted it. He's like, I'm not a big comic book guy. So for all these like little references to other movies and the interconnections, I'm not going to know that. So that's Kevin Feige's job. My job is to make my film.
Well, the actors have said like he's an actor's director. Like he'll hang out with them and he'll work the seat, and this is where this improv and all these things come out of. So that makes sense. My fear is that they're making so much money on this as these movies go on that they are going to not make any more risky moves. They're going to keep it safe because they know what makes money.
This is what happens when you have a product. I mean, Marvel's always been a product,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But comic books have always been for a specific audience.
Yeah.
All right. And you can say whatever you want about this and that, but it's always was teenage to adult males reading this stuff as an escape. Now, in this world now where everything is kind of being mass marketed and Disney now owns it and wants to make as much money off of it as possible, a lot of this is good. A lot of what you like about these characters, the reason that they're great in the first place, because they've been written for years and have a fan base that love it, they're being stripped of a lot of the stuff that made them great.
Yeah.
Because of it going out to the mass market, and they have to soften the edges and they have to kind of like vanilla it up a little bit or make it appealing to other people, which is great, but for everybody else, but they're not coming in with the baggage of reading it since you were like 10 years old and now you're like 30 something. And you're like, okay, this is not this is not what I grew up reading, or this is, but they've completely, sacrificed a lot so everybody could enjoy it. So it's kind of like a watered down version. We're getting watered down versions, and we're going to always get them now.
Yep. And the Disney thing doesn't help. And I guess I'm still getting used to the fact that like, this is now a mainstream, huge fucking media thing.
I don't think, at this point, Marvel is I think Infinity War is a risk in terms of just the amount of fucking characters they're going to have in it.
Just the logistics and
the logistics of it as a risk. But as far as like, they are on a roll in terms of making money and mass distributing, making characters that are still somewhat niche prior to Marvel, Disney getting their hands on it and making them marketable to everybody. So they really, I'm not going to say they can't take a risk, but they are very hesitant to do something different because this is making a shit ton of money. This is the formula that is, as far as formulas, this formula is working.
But the other side of that is that they've made so much money. Why not take a little bit of a risk? You can make it back with the next one if you fuck it up. I'm curious to see how risky.
They don't want to lose money.
You don't go in and go, man, this is really working. Let's try and do something different, and maybe you don't take gambles at this level.
And you know what? So
this is the only way I could see it panning out.
Yeah.
Is if Disney was like, all right, listen, we made a bunch of action movies, a bunch of fun, like popcorn movies. Let's try and go for an Oscar with a comic book.
That's kind of where I wish this would go towards.
Yeah. Let's try and take something that has a lot of gravitas and do it.
Yes.
And do it well.
Yes.
And it's not for everybody. It's maybe have an R rating, but it's going to be great.
I don't think you can go in with that expectation with the current venture is with Disney.
Well, they're seeing so many dollar signs and there's so many fucking suits and
like a Dark Knight or something like that.
Yeah,
to that level.
the serious movies are now like the rare movies in the 17 movies, you know?
I got a review, not a review, but something written on our page that you didn't include in the notes.
Okay.
That I think is pretty relevant.
Okay.
So Michael Cherkovsky.
Yes.
Put on here, saw Thor Friday. While I enjoyed it, the more I think about it, the more trite it seems, and the more trite a lot of the other films in the series are starting to seem. So much of it is played for yucks, but not camp. It's an odd dynamic. Here's the key part, though. The only way Fahey and his creatives seem to be able to make these characters, many from the 60s, palpable for the 21st century, is to make them all comedians.
Yeah.
Or straight man foils for the now comedic characters.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that, I think Delhar touched on it too, is a lot of the time, I think, especially their space characters, they really don't know how to market that.
Yeah, so they just make them funny.
Because it's so fucking weird that they just make them fun.
And humor is easily relatable. Like, it's very easy to make characters relatable with humor, and it always works. And I get that.
And I think Rugboy said this off air, but I'll steal it and give him credit. Labeling something a comedy leaves it open for less scrutiny.
Yeah. Kind of like a horror movie is it
less
could be
scrutiny.
less scrutiny.
It's a comedy, so it's like
it's a comedy action adventure. It's a sketch comedy action adventure.
Taika even says, "Dude, it's a comedy."
Yeah, you get automatic leeway when it's a comedy.
So they set it up,
and different standard.
And really, but it was like, what risk that they have? Like, all they had to do was top the first two Thor movies, which wasn't going to be hard. And this is the way you get them to be relatable. So
it's weird because it feels like that we're shitting on this movie, but we all enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching it. It's just that it gives us a pause of what is Marvel doing.
What? Yeah, you see more Disney influence. You see, where is this going to go?
Well, Disney obviously wants to make money.
Yeah,
and wants to keep this is the thing they want. They want kids growing up with this for in perpetuity. They want forever. Like Mickey Mouse has been around for like ever, right? And every kid grows up with
every
Mickey Mouse.
Every generation gets their Mickey
Mouse. And it's like Mickey is everything and nothing. Like, what can you really say about Mickey? You really don't know. Like, there's really nothing you can say. Like, even the Ninja Turtles like pizza.
Yeah,
That's
Mickey Mouse's thing.
Yeah, there's nothing to Mickey Mouse. So it's like they're just gonna keep stripping away all of these unique, cool character quirks and things that or even the core of their character. Like, Spider-Man is no longer a loser. Like, Spider-Man's also now all of a sudden
everything
cool
is just safe
and gets the homecoming queen.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever. This is what happens. It gives me pause.
Yes.
And so I don't jump. Another thing is, like, I hate hype. I hate when, like, everybody loves something and I'm like, this can't be, because then I go in expecting it to be great, and then when it's just okay,
it does ruin your enjoyment. And everything is now best movie ever. Every fucking movie comes out BM best
the
movie.
New Marvel tagline is the funniest movie ever.
That word "fun," I have not. Every review,
the most fun I've had in a movie theater.
Every review has the word "fun" in there multiple times, and it is fun, but like, it's fun enough.
Hey, but here's the thing. Marvel wants you to have fun.
Yeah, I guess.
So if every review is like fun, most fun, funniest movie ever, Marvel's like win.
Are you like? I know Imran's a comedy person. You're like a comedy person.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Are comedies your favorite movies that you watch repeatedly?
Who are you asking?
Imran.
Yeah, they're up there. There's been comedies like Airplane I can watch over and over again. I keep mentioning that movie Brain Donors. It's a silly comedy and like a Marx Brothers style. But I love comedy. I love laughing. It just makes you feel good. In terms of endorphins. This movie though, I never laughed out loud, which I was like, huh. It was like, I don't know why. I never laughed.
I would agree. I know Ruggs didn't like Guardians. I really liked Guardians, and I laughed out loud.
I laughed out loud in Guardians.
I even found myself laughing out loud in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yes.
This one I would like chuckle, like, that's clever.
Yeah. I mean, the fucking ball bounces off the glass and hits him in the head. Really? For fuck's sake.
Shit.
This is where we're at now. Which, look, it makes you laugh. It's a cheap laugh, but it's a laugh. But wouldn't Thor be smarter than that? And like, would Thor say "son of a bitch"? Like, it's just weird. Where he's like, "Son of a bitch, what are you doing here?"
Oh yeah, he does say that.
Yeah,
I did find that clever. Because what does he say? That
he goes, son. Well, he goes, "Son of Odin," and then he goes, "Son of a bitch, Surtur. What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
I did find that clever. I have to admit,
it's clever. But
it's not. It's not in the tone of what you would expect out of a Thor movie.
But Thor has been kind of a fucking boring guy. I mean, at least he's got some kind of a personality now. A little more of a personality. Let's go over some Easter eggs. We went over some of them already. The deal with the Infinity Gauntlet. So that wasn't, because there was one in the first Thor movie, and then
people were real upset.
And they just wrote it off. She goes fake. So because doesn't Thanos have it?
That was what people were upset about. You see it in the first movie, and then you see it at the end of Age of Ultron that Thanos has it, and you're like, why is there two?
Yeah, well,
so they had to. I honestly think the only reason they addressed it is because fans were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that vault full of things blows up. So we said Loki glances at the Tesseract, probably steals it, and that's probably why Thanos' ship shows up in that mid-credit scene. Because I bet you Loki's already made a fucking deal with Thanos, or he's tracking it.
If you remember the trailer that was leaked, Thor was floating around in space.
Yeah, so like they may have just blown that ship up and killed everyone, and taken Loki.
Confirmed that that ship was the Sanctuary 2, which is
that's Thanos' ship. And like that ship was big. Like when you look at the scale, and then you see the other one, I was like, that's a fucking big ship. Like the original ship was pretty big. A couple of things you wouldn't know from the movie that are in canon here. Grandmaster and the Collector, Benicio del Toro, they're brothers, but you'd never know that from this movie.
Or Celestials, or Elders,
Yeah, and also Valkyrie is supposed to be bisexual, but you'd never know that from this movie.
Yeah, they made a big deal about that, and I saw Twitter blowing up, and I'm like, where is this? There was like a couple of looks that she had with somebody, and
I did not.
Wow,
what?
like
that's it.
She had like the looks she had, I thought were for Thor. I thought she was completely hetero.
Yeah.
What about the Hulk thing? Was she fucking Hulk?
They were buddies. They were just buddies. He was like, he's like, hey, big girl. She's like, hey, big guy, how's it going? Like, I love that where, and then they were like, I feel like I know you. I feel like I know you too. It's weird. Yeah. It's so fucking sitcom and goofy. Like, it's the whole thing was sitcom. Point Break, where he's like,
reference to from the first Avengers,
the first movie. The Faces in the Palace. This was
kind of cool.
That was a big one. You see them constructing the Hulk face. These are, and then the former champions of the Grandmaster, Beta Ray Bill, Ares, Bi-Beast, and Man-Thing. Which I thought that those were pretty cool. The spaceships were named after Australian car manufacturers. It's a very New Zealand movie. So Commodore, Statesman, Toronto, those are all Australian car manufacturers. Every inside joke, only people in Australia would get it, I guess. I like Odin calling Norway home, as it's the home of Norse mythology. So it's kind of their home.
They should have shot it in Norway.
I don't think they were in Norway at all.
No, they weren't. It was bad on screen.
It would have been nice to give the Norwegian people some money after we raped their mythology.
Norway has some tax breaks for making movies. Come on.
I have to say that scene, I almost would have preferred it was in the alley because that scene visually was so boring.
What'd you think? And then just Thor, Odin just like his life force expires and it's like just shitty like glitter. Like, what the fuck was that?
What a terrible send-off.
Horrible ending for him.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
And then what's her name?
It's just another symptom of the movie. Just like, okay, we got to get that plot point crossed off and run more to the jokes.
Hell is coming. Let's go. Yeah, cut that. I mean, here's one thing I read, a scene they did actually cut out. There was going to be a flashback of when Hela, Thor, and Loki were kids. And it was going to be like a fat Thor kid and like a goth emo Loki. And I'm so glad this is how wacky he really wanted to go, was he would have given us a fat Thor flashback as a kid. In the comics, Hela is actually Loki's daughter.
Yeah.
Fenris the Wolf is her brother.
That's fucking weird.
Which is very
strange.
strange.
A better change.
Who did he fuck to get those kids? Wow. Also, Odin just not very good at raising his children. Just lying to everyone. Not really good at a lot of things, apparently.
I wish they would have tackled that more.
Right?
Of Odin,
that's great.
He fucking lied to everybody
lying to his children to
There's so
protect.
many great things in this story that they just gloss over.
They just gloss
You really could have played up how Odin isn't all that he seems to be and isn't this benevolent god that he's been portrayed as.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's holding shit together.
Yeah. But it was falling apart. Here's some cool more Easter egg related to the comic books. The fact that Ragnarok in the comics has happened several times already and always changes things. So I always wondered, because they never did this, because when they first introduced Thor in the 60s, he was exiled from Asgard by Odin, and he led his life as Donald Blake, like a crippled dude with a cane. The reason he was exiled is Odin was trying to prevent Ragnarok from happening. And he felt that if he changed the timeline and removed Thor, that would stop Ragnarok. And then Donald Blake to turn into Thor would tap his cane. Lightning would come down. He turns into Thor. They kind of did that a little bit when they went to visit Doctor Strange with the umbrella tap. And then the whole bit where he's calling his umbrella and it's breaking everything. And he's just like, sorry about that. So I like that little Donald Blake nod. And then we talked about the play with Matt Damon, Sam Neill, and Luke Hemsworth. Krog and Meek are from the Planet Hulk storyline. Korg and Meek from the Planet Hulk storyline.
Except he's yellow not blue.
Oh, Korg is? Oh, he's yellow rock?
He's like gray.
He's like
a gray rock?
Yeah. He's a rock creature.
Is Meek, that's what Meek is like kind of an alien?
Meek is actually pretty big in Planet Hulk. He like manipulates everything.
He talks.
Yeah, he talks, and he's like a real fucking deviant asshole and is the one that kind of causes Hulk to go crazy, and then it's like he was scheming behind the scenes.
I hope we see them again because they're with him. They made it.
Feige said that those were characters.
Oh, I fucking love Korg. And then we talked about the Big Fork, which is a reference to What We Do in the Shadows, I guess, which is a movie about three vampires huddling together.
Yep.
Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song, the Stan Lee cameo. That's a pretty good cameo. I like the fact that he cut the hair with this crazy device.
What'd you think of that? Did you think that was funny?
It's you're just like, when you see Stan Lee, you're like, oh, there he is, Stan Lee.
I'm talking about like when Thor's like, don't you cut my hair.
See? Okay, so there's times where Thor is like reacting like I wouldn't think Thor would react. You're fucking a god. You're a god of thunder, and you are scared by a haircutting device. And when that guy melts, he's like, oh my God, like he's never seen someone die. And I was like, really?
It's funny. It's
really,
funny. It's
Thor?
just, but it's not how he would act.
No, it's so out of place.
It is.
So out
oh
of
my
place.
God, the smell. It is funny.
But I didn't like, why would Thor be that like pussy about getting his haircut? Like, what the fuck? Really?
What made you guys see the movie twice?
I just had an opportunity. I had some time in the afternoon, and I was like, I was kind of confused. I was like, well, was this movie just like forgettable? And I went back and I was like, will I laugh again? And I had the exact same experience. But really, it's just because I had this one afternoon. I got out of work early. I had to do a thing. I was like, I'm gonna go fucking see it again, just for the review. Because and Anthony, you always see movies twice, don't you?
Yeah, I like to see them twice. But for me, it was my mom wanted to see it. But more than that, it was and I had to take her because she doesn't drive. And I was the same way as Imran. I was like, the fuck did I like? I came out of that first showing and I was like, did I even like that?
Yes.
So I had to see it and kind of confirm if I really didn't like it or not.
I confirmed exactly how I felt the first time.
I felt a little better about it the second time because I knew what to expect and I was like, okay, I can kind of look. I know now what kind of movie they're making. Whereas the first time I was like, the fuck was this?
Yeah, it rattled you a little
bit.
It did. It rattled me.
Yeah. And the second time I got a little bit more of the emotional, like the brief moments of trying to be serious and the conversation between them, but it wasn't enough. And they just undermine it with a joke.
Just for what happens, like all these things, like these fucking, like, it took me to Guardians of the Galaxy because, they break, Star-Lord's Walkman.
Yes.
And then they break Mjolnir.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it's like all these things that happen like that. They just, in Guardians, it was actually had more heart.
Absolutely.
In that moment.
But him destroying that Walkman was, and I think it's because James Gunn had the benefit of working with these characters from scratch. Like he built this for himself. That's definitely.
I think he built the Walkman thing out of scratch.
I think James Gunn is a better ensemble director.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I think Taika's funnier.
Yeah.
He's better with the comedy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and Taika didn't write this. James wrote both of those movies, I believe, both of them. This was written by Chris Yost and Christopher Kyle.
Well, Taika threw out the script and went his ass with it, and then whatever the one.
I think it's pretty safe to assume that that's what Taika did with that fucking script.
He's like,
or at least, it was like, I'm going to ignore.
I will say this in one line, and then we will go to the next improv bit.
He probably looked at all the dialogue and was like, yeah, that's not the way this is going to go down.
I mean, he threw out everything we know about Thor, really, until now, and like even after, if you think about like in Age of Ultron, where he was like, I'm going to find the stones, and I left. And did he really do that? Did he even check in on where the other stones were?
He didn't give a fuck about it.
Where is that? So we were thinking there was going to be another stone here, but nothing connecting it really to Infinity War, aside from that end credit scene.
You need a Tesseract.
There's the Tesseract, which we already knew was there. Where was the stone?
Isn't that a stone?
That was the one. There's still one missing. which is the Soul Stone. Where was Sif? Why didn't they even have fucking Sif in this movie?
Yeah,
that would have been nice. And
you should have just killed her too. Like she would have.
I don't think she's dead. She just wasn't around. How many Asgardians are left now? So the other time Ragnarok happened is in the 2000s, and they rebuilt Asgard floating over Oklahoma.
Yeah, I read that. That was actually pretty good.
I like that. I remember that. I like that
too. That was also the impetus for the Siege storyline with Brian Micheal Bendis. Because
that was Bendis.
Norman Osborn was like, we can't have fucking Asgard floating over
just
Earth.
above us. Kind of like Adelon on the moon, but they were just...
Right.
So I have a feeling maybe they do something like that going forward, because they have everyone's on that ship, unless Thanos just destroys them.
Pending where they go with Infinity War, you could continue the Thor storyline just with Asgard on Earth.
Yeah. You could have them
Maybe
helping.
You can make a fourth Thor?
I don't think they will. They left it open to like if they can negotiate something.
And YTT said he'd rather make like a Ragnarok 2 as opposed to
he said
Thor
that. That's
4,
weird as fuck too.
Where he just wants to do another wacky sequel of look, Spaceballs doesn't have a sequel. This thing, I don't know. But okay, so look, let's rank the Thor movies, and then let's rank this in the MCU. What do you say?
How about instead of ranking in the MCU, out of 10, because the MCU that's a little bit more of a
okay,
or at least if you're going to rank it, just put kind of where.
Okay, where it's hard.
Yeah.
At first, look, going into this, I was like, this is easily going to be the best Thor movie ever. I mean, better than the first two. And then afterwards, I was like, it's just edges out the first one, I think, because it gives him personality. But the first one, I don't know, there were stakes. I felt the essence of like the seriousness character more. But I would say in Thor movies, it's going to be number one, but it's not hard.
What about the other numbers?
And then 1 and then 2.
No, I'm saying, and then what about the...
in the MCU? I will put it...
The question you originally asked.
Middle top.
Middle top? What does that mean, middle top?
I don't know.
Does that mean like more towards the like number 1 ranking or more towards 17?
Oh,
top mean?
More towards number 1. I think. Come back to me. I'm still trying
Jesus Christ, you're so fucking decisive.
I can't. You go. I can't. So hard.
Oh my God, you're terrible at this.
Middle bottom. I don't know. Go. I might change my mind. You go next.
Anthony. All right, I'll answer the questions a little more decisively.
Okay, good.
I've got this ranked 2 behind Thor 1. I actually think Thor 1, I like that better than this movie. Yeah.
Whoa. Wow.
As far as where it ranks within the Marvel universe, again, not my flavor. I'd have it towards the bottom. I really was not. It's not one of those movies where I was like, yeah, like this is my shit. And then as far as out of 10, I would go like a 5.9.
Whoa.
5.8.
Oh, I forgot about the out of 10. Okay, I was going to give it like a 7.
Wow.
Ruggs, what do you think?
Well, that's a weird one because, I mean, the Thor movies, I think they're both. I think this ties the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
As far as like enjoyment that I got out of watching it, you get more bang for your buck with Ragnarok. I mean, you get more visuals, you get more all this stuff. But I really think that the first Thor movie I saw like quite a few times, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a piece of shit like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I wish there was more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
They just didn't put the money into that they did with this movie. So with that said, so I have it tied for first. With the Marvel, it's in the middle bottom for me. I like it more than some other movies, but I can't really tell you which one up. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think I liked Thor better because for some reason when I got Guardians of the Galaxy to me was just like annoying to watch. I felt like annoyed when I was watching it because I was like, okay, Baby Groot. I'm like, I don't like Baby Groot. I'm not a big fan of Baby Groot. I'm not a big fan of like the guy who plays Star-Lord. I don't like him that much.
You don't like Chris Pratt?
I think he was better in Jurassic World than this.
He's like the same character.
Yeah, but no, he's actually he's more macho in Jurassic World, and I think it works better for him.
Oh.
Yeah, and I didn't like all these jokes that people like love so much, and I didn't like the Pac-Man thing. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah.
Is this a Guardians of the Galaxy
review?
The
wrong movie.
No. But I'm just saying that So it definitely tops Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know what else it's better than. Like, it's probably better than Thor: Dark World. It's better than
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
'cause that's like in the middle.
Yeah, it's in the middle. Yeah.
What about out of 10?
I don't know. What'd you give it?
5.8.
I mean, Imran gave it a 7.
Imran's always very generous.
I'll go with 6.
Imran also bashed the entire movie and then goes middle top.
I'll give it a 6. Like, if we're doing like increments, I'll give it like a 6.4.
Oh, 6.4.
This movie had so many problems. What are you ranking in MCU? Middle top.
I'll give it a 7.2. No, in the MCU, geez, I don't know. It's so hard. I will say,
I don't. Your MCU ranking, you got to think about it.
It's very hard. I will say, I did. I don't know. I think I had more fun at Guardians of the Galaxy 2 than this movie. And then Spider-Man was just like,
yeah. Let's rank them. So you have 3 MCU movies that came out.
Yes. That's even harder because okay, look,
I like this better than all the other ones that came out this year.
I would go.
I can guess Rug Boys would probably be this. Ooh, I don't know what he would rank. I'd say Spider-Man and then Guardians.
Yeah, probably. Right, Rug?
Yeah. No, for Rug Boy, not for me.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, I think they're tied, both Guardians and Spider-Man. They're tied. I like them and dislike them at the same time. But, I like Spider-Man Homecoming, as I said, as an experience, but I don't like it as a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Shit, it's so hard because really, again, like I'm thinking of Spider-Man Homecoming, and like it's just, it's so safe again. Like all it does is just put Spider-Man in the MCU. Like it
just makes him likable.
Yeah, it makes him likable. Like how they made Thor likable. Like how fuck. I would go Guardians first, then Thor, then Spider-Man.
I would go Guardians first because I loved Guardians 2. Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man second because of the end where the turn where he finds out about Michael Keaton being the girl's dad, and then Thor last.
See, that's what this movie needed. Was a little holy shit.
There was nothing. Yeah, there was nothing where it could like pinpoint and be like, all right, this is the time when this movie is like starting to take itself seriously.
I think the balance worked the best in Spider-Man. The balance of everything.
The balance was great. And you know what? I also thought about like Ant-Man. Like I love the balance in that movie. That is a comedy, but I think it's well balanced.
But
and
I
it's
think
not
that the
over
visuals
the
in Thor and all the fun stuff to look at and the action sequences are more kind of bigger than the Spider-Man ones.
Yes. They're fun to look at, but like
Spider-Man is visually pretty boring.
Like Guardians' biggest scene is Baby Groot dancing, and then they're fighting a huge monster.
Look, Yondu's funeral was so emotional. Like that beat at the end, like I loved when they did that, and that's what again was the kind of thing this movie needed. Like it just did not have anything. If it just took itself a little bit more serious, man, it would have been a little bit better balanced.
But we're going to be in the minority.
Yeah, no, this thing is going to make $1 gajillion.
Yeah.
And the hyperbole is going to continue until the next movie where people are going to be like, this is the best movie ever, Black Panther. And then I saw something where they're like, oh, Infinity War will be funny and epic. And I was like, oh, fuck yourself.
Oh, shit.
Don't use funny in Infinity War. What are you doing?
I mean, it's going to be funny.
Yes.
Marvel films are always going to be funny, but I don't think Infinity War.
No.
There's
what was
track
the least funny Marvel movie?
Least funny? Yeah, I mean, one of the Captain America, but even though
Winter Soldier, and I think that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, Incredible Hulk was nearly not that funny. They try to be funny. So Winter Soldier, definitely, I would say.
I hope Black Panther, they take themselves serious because the fucking trailer looks amazing. It's a very important movie in terms of the diversity in the cast and the character. And, Black people reading comics growing up are like,
what are you talking about, dude? Tyler Perry movies have tons of black people.
Oh, that's true. Medea. Lurgan. Medea needs to make that X-Men movie called Lurgan, where she plays Wolverine.
What if Black Panther, you're watching it, right?
Yeah.
And they have a scene where someone dies and you turn over the dead body and it's like Tyler Perry.
I feel so bad for Blade. I feel bad for Blade. Blade keeps getting glossed over.
Blade is such a great movie, too. And
it was a huge movie. It was fucking... a great movie.
It's
for
just
its time.
it was like it was pigeonholed into being like a horror film, really.
Yeah, no one knew that it was a comic book movie.
But it's a fucking
including
badass
me
movie.
when I first saw it.
It's really good. It's really good, but
that would be the equivalent, right? Because when I saw Matt Damon, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, what the fuck is Matt?
Can you imagine like Tyler Perry in the Black Panther movie?
Tyler Perry played a serious role in something.
I know, I saw that. I didn't see that, but I saw that.
Tyler Perry in Black Panther.
That would be the equivalent. Like, if you saw Tyler Perry's fucking ass.
Yes. So speaking
like,
of
my God, Marvel really has jumped the shark.
Here's what we got coming up next year in the MCU. 2018 is going to give us Black Panther February 16th, Avengers Infinity War May 4th, and then another comedy, probably Ant-Man and the Wasp, July 6th, 2018. So they don't have a November release. Everything is front-loaded and stops in July. We're also getting 3 X-Men movies next year and some other shit, and a Venom movie and all this other shit. The next superhero movie we will review that we're geeked for is Justice League, of course, coming out in
oh shit, I forgot that was even
2 weeks. But here's what's weird. I got a couple of interesting bullet points in the Justice League. Apparently, after the reshoots, this estimated budget of this movie is over $300 million. The Warner Brothers president, Kevin Sugihara, is the one who mandated that the movie be 2 hours or less. This is why it's 2 hours, because he told them, you got 2 hours, no more, no less. And here's the one thing that will be very telling, the review embargo for this movie lifts not a week or two before, but 2 fucking days before, Wednesday, November 15th. And look, we all know when that happens, that means the studio has no confidence in their fucking movie. So, like, right, you would think they would already release, like, you know how they do, like, the social media blitz? Like, for Wonder Woman, they did it, like, 13 days before, like, way early, and the buzz worked. Nothing about this movie. You're not going to get anything until 2 days before.
No, it's not good.
That's not good. That does not give me any kind of faith. That tells me that they don't have any faith, which is surprising. So my other thing is, like, now this movie becoming really Disney and safe and everything's fun and entertaining, like, it does put Warner Brothers in an interesting spot where they can kind of take the contrast of that and run with it. However, irony being, this movie is the one that's going to be lighthearted with Joss Whedon.
What does Justice League have to do in order to pull ahead here?
Now I feel like there needs to be stakes. Show me a gritty movie that's a little bit serious, but with a balanced humor.
What if they just pull off like a standard DC comic book come to life?
That could work. We know it's going to happen.
I mean, like, we've grown up with the cartoons, the Justice League cartoons, and the Teen Titans and all those stuff. And they seem to know exactly what to do in those cartoons to, like, make it feel like the comic books.
That's true.
So if they are able to pull it off somehow where you're watching this, you're like, yeah, this is a fucking comic book come to life.
I don't think they have it. Just looking at when they released Wonder Woman's review embargo, which was 13 days
13 days.
And this one is a day before.
So clearly they are
not confident.
They must have. So, because, a lot of it is they're trying to mesh the Joss Whedon with the Zack Snyder. Is that going to be an issue? Is the two mandated 2-hour runtime?
Outside of just making the film, there is a lot.
There's so much
going against this. In terms of the negative publicity prior to this film, the fact that you've now brought in a different director, the fact that you're doing the formula a different way in terms of not introducing all the characters in their own solo film, but throwing all of them in one film, there's a lot going against it.
Man! But
if it was if for Rugboy's question, if it's a comic book come to life and it's just a bunch of fun, shit, I'll take that at this point.
I mean, shit, yeah. After watching Thor, I was like, I'm kind of ready for like a slightly serious, gritty Justice League.
I don't think that's what you're getting.
We're not getting that because fun makes money. They want to make
for what
money.
DC's learned is gritty and dark. Does not make anyone happy.
But there are diehard DC fans. I've been tangling with them on Twitter.
I've been reading some of that. It's been very funny, very good. Well done.
Because I mean, like, now that they first of all, they doubled your characters that you can use. Now I can really get into fucking some arguments. That's why I hate Twitter, because you can't even like get your thoughts out.
But now you can use 280 characters, Rugs.
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. They've extended the count.
I'm getting hammered by these guys. There's so many guys that love Man of Steel.
Yeah, defending like Superman and it's a good thread. Check it out on Rugboy's Twitter. Okay, I got a couple of
at Really Rugboy.
At Really Rugboy. I got a couple.
That's where you can find him. You don't have to ask at the end of the show.
Okay, now we know. So I'm not gonna ask. I am gonna. Hey, do you know we have a fan club on Patreon, listener? That's just for you. Got a couple of email reviews from listeners. Here's an email from Ron Hans, listener and Patreon supporter. Hey, Imran, it's been a while since I wrote in, but I wanted to give you my first thoughts of the new Thor movie. I will say that I liked the movie and it was very entertaining. However, I think it might have tried to be a bit too funny for the MCU. While some of the one-liners and little bits they had in there did make me laugh, I found that at this stage of the MCU with Infinity War right around the corner, they should have done some things to move the story along, which I don't really feel they did. What I liked was some of the backstory you got on Odin and Hela. I did like some of the comedy and that you actually saw Thor use his lightning to fight. What didn't work so well for me was how much comedy there was. There were storylines that didn't need so many jokes. Thor and Loki coming to terms with who each other is, or Valkyrie's past, that it would have hit a lot harder, at least with me, than they did. The other thing that didn't work for me was that as I thought there was way too many storylines to keep track of, with all the characters we had to follow and the new ones that were being introduced, it was just a lot of stuff to put in this movie. All in all, it was an entertaining movie, and at the end of it, I did enjoy my experience with the movie. In my rankings, I would have this in the lower third, though, of the MCU. That is not to say it was a bad movie, but the MCU has put out better. In the DCEU, it would be second behind Wonder Woman. Thanks. Looking forward to the review. Keep up the good work. You guys are still number one in my queue. Talking nerd. We didn't fuck it up yet. And then Wes Cranford, Yank from Down Under, replied to Anthony, your initial reaction on Patreon. He commented, yep, my take too. I found the comedy, took me out of the movie. It was too much. My first Marvel disappointment. Effects were good. Good story, action, acting, all good, but we are on the same page. I will see it again, though, to give it a second chance. I liked Hela, very sexy, but the casual humor messed with the character.
There's one more review on here that just came up on our page.
Share it.
From Wayman Swanson.
Oh, Ray Swanson, yes.
Ray Swanson, he goes, I can't say I walked out of the theater feeling the same way I did after the Avengers, but I would still rank this one in my top 5 of the MCU. But the point here should be broader. To me, these films are being over-scrutinized. The MCU isn't trying to make thought-provoking thrillers or thought-provoking drama. They have set up to make family-friendly action adventures. Mm-hmm. Those require some suspension of disbelief. They are borrowing from so much source material to create their own variation of the universe. It's bound to piss off comic book lovers. But these movies are meant to do only 2 things. 1, take the viewers on a fun and exciting ride. And 2, make money, buttloads of it. To do the second, they need people to become invested in the characters, so they leverage humor to help make them cool and to have more people invested. They aren't going to go as deep or as dark, so they can get to a younger audience. Eventually, the formula will grow tiresome, but I'll suspend some of my critical eye and just go along for a ride. After all, I'm enjoying it so far.
So, look, I get that you're enjoying it, but can't I have more? Is it wrong to ask for a little bit more? A little bit. Why can't I love Rugboy's idea. Why not pick one and try to make like an Oscar movie?
I can't disagree with anyone that's saying
I know.
Anything.
That's the thing.
I understand if you did like it.
Yes.
It's very fun.
It's very fun, but just so thin.
I don't get pissed off like I do with like BVS, where if like you're like, man, BVS was really fucking awesome. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like if you really thought this was great, hell yeah. I mean, it is a funny comedy.
I mean, but I also think it's another example. It's just like mediocrity selling, mediocrity being the thing that people gravitate towards. And so this prevents any risk taking or anything.
Well, that's the thing. It's like with music and stuff like that. Like nothing challenges you anymore. And no one wants to challenge you because it doesn't make money. So if it isn't making dollars, then it isn't making sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, snap. Did you just come up with that? That's a good one.
That's a quote from a musician that nobody knows because I listen to crazy music that no one listens to, from Pedro the Lion.
Oh, I don't know.
He has a great song called Moving Units.
Yeah. I got to, last thing, I got to play Joe from Work's audio on the Patreon because it's pretty fucking funny because I guess he listened to yours, Anthony, and he was like, oh, hell no. Here's what Joe from Work,
Okay, does he address... I'll just say me and Joe from Work saw the movie together.
Yeah, we talked about it, that you were his date and that you had to put out afterwards, and he probably didn't, which is fine. There it is.
Hey guys, this is Joe from Work here. Saw Thor Ragnarok yesterday with the Jock. Imran mentioned doing an instant take. I wasn't going to do one just because I went home and fell asleep right away. Wasn't thinking much of it until I listened to Anthony's this morning and just thought, fuck that guy, you know. I paid for his movie ticket last night. He didn't even put out once. He's all talk. He said just nothing but a prude. So I don't know how much weight you put on his opinion, but fuck that guy. All right. The movie. Blanket statement. I'm going to say the movie was good. I'm going to go ahead and compare it to the first two Thors. And say that I want to see more of this one every time compared to those first two. As far as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is humor-wise, if you had a problem with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, just wait for this. You'll probably have a problem with it. There's so much slapstick comedy. Even I think the characters are charismatic enough where it works, kind of. At least I'm not hindered by it too much. It doesn't take away too much from me. But fuck, after the first 2-3 minutes of just seeing with Thor in the movie, I was like, fuck me. They're really throwing shit at the wall. But
fuck me.
We'll see. We'll see what you think. Taika Waititi did a good job. If you like Flight of the Conchords stuff, if you like What We Do in the Shadows, which is hilarious, then you'll love his character Korg. Korg was awesome, pretty funny. Tessa Thompson was really good. She'll be a fan favorite, I think, for sure. Hela, jury's still out on Hela. I don't know how I felt about her. I mean, acting-wise, she did a good job, but we'll see if she pops up again. And then, what did Anthony say? Jeff Goldblum was great, he said. Jeff Goldblum was just fucking Jeff Goldblum. I don't know. I think everyone in there knows what to expect from Jeff Goldblum. He didn't do too much else, but he was pretty funny. But other than that, I thought visually it was very cool. Sitar was awesome. That worked for me. The Hulk talking more worked for me. I enjoyed it. Overall, this movie, the action in it was split up pretty well throughout the 3 acts. I didn't find a dull moment in there, really. I never got bored. In Thor, you see some cool stuff from him in the action scenes you haven't seen before. I think it was hinted in the trailer. They also leave stuff out, or they switch stuff around in the trailer, so there's some misdirection you'll see. I'm sure you'll notice it if you've watched the trailers as much as I have. So, with that being said, I'm just hoping this movie, even though it was very light, it was Spaceball-y. I enjoyed it, the action, the visual, the music, the synth, everything made up for it. And I thought put it over the first two Thors. So if going forward I want to see more of this Thor, just cut back the comedy. And, you know, if Infinity War is going to go as dark as I think it will, or as like it's been hyped up, I think this will be a nice movie to go back to. The Marvel, all the movies they've done, the storylines,
Shut up,
you know.
Joe.
Just looking at the Thor movies, I don't think there was too much weight on any of those to begin with. I don't think people really cared as much as opposed to the other ones. So I think they took the risk and they were able to, and they got away with it. And I think they're going to, you know, there's going to be overwhelming praise for this, which I think there already is. So, you know, they're going to get credit again. Marvel's going to get their cock sucked, and everyone's going to go home happy. But we will see. You know, go see it for yourself. And this is Joe from work. You can follow me at work in the office 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. All right, happy Friday. Bye.
That's the best part, where he's like, you can follow me at work in the office 9 to 5.
I got to address Joe from work.
Okay.
I'm not putting out until he gives me my refund for that ticket.
Oh, shit. Why do you need a refund? Because you didn't like the movie. It was not...
no, just because he paid for it, so I want my money back. He doesn't give me... I gave him back the ticket and the receipt. I said, give me a refund for this. So,
I don't understand.
Yeah, he owes me money.
What?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
Thanks for sending in your audio, Joe, from work. Look,
until he gives me a refund, I'm not putting it out.
All right. Joe, you heard him. Give him his money back.
He did pay for my ticket.
He paid, but now you owe him money. I don't understand how this math works, but Anthony, you're the sales guy, so I believe you. If you say the math works out, it works out. All right, that's it for the review. Any final thoughts anybody got?
$20 for some jock sex. It's not that much.
That's cheap.
Oh shit.
That's good. That's a good exchange rate.
$20, Joe.
That's all it takes. $20 on the Patreon will get you some jock sex. We already talked about where you can follow Rugboy, right? On Twitter. Where can they follow you?
I really Rugboy.
Yes, and follow us on Twitter at Jock and Nerdcast. Subscribe, leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. You can do it right in the computer, right on your app, right on your phone. And of course, tell a friend, spread the geekery.
Jock and Nerd.
Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll catch you next time.
I'm going to stick my mouth on a tailpipe of a car right now.
Sucking that exhaust, Rugs.
Yeah.
Let me hear you breathe. Are you wheezy?
No, I'm not wheezy. I'm George Jefferson.
Wheezy!
Get your hand off my penis!
Oh, that's Anthony.
Jock and Nerd.